everybody, this is Eric Parker talking to you from Pahrump, Nevada, waiting for the government's second attempt at prosecuting me. Me and 3 others who hung the jury last April. First, I'd like to talk about the hung jury. As is normal, we don't tend to think about things until they affect us directly. With that in mind, the government's ability and self-appointed right to retry someone as many times as they want to, seems to me in direct opposition to the alleged nature of our system. As I moved through this process, the questions started immediately, first of which was while the judge was reading the verdict. If a jury can't agree on a man that a man is guilty of an alleged crime, doesn't that mean there was doubt? Furthermore, we take majority rule in almost every aspect of our system. That is within the confines of the state and federal constitutions. But in this case, it's simply called a draw. I started to investigate the nature of the situation I found myself in, and lo and behold, this seemed to be the standard. Unanimous to convict, unanimous to acquit. If it's not unanimous, a mistrial is declared, and the government gets another whack at it. This process seems a lot like a violation of the Fifth Amendment, though I hesitate to even bring it up, knowing full well the weight given to the Bill of Rights by the judiciary. The other side of that coin is, if it's our fate to exist in a banana republic, then the only answer I see is to expose the hypocrisy. So the Fifth Amendment. No person shall be subject for the same offense to be twice put in jeopardy of life and limb, or as it's more commonly known, double jeopardy. Anyone found in the same situation I find myself in today is definitely twice at risk. So when you're writing letters or emails, don't forget to add double jeopardy to the laundry list of violations and the unjust practice of mistrial declaration of a hung jury. Remember, the majority found us not guilty.
This call is from an inmate facility.
Now I want to talk a bit about the motion filed last Friday by the government. This motion was to inform their intent to bring into my trial 3% of Idaho's involvement in Sugar Pine Mine and the Hope Mine. A few things come to mind. First, it seems to me the prosecution is seeking to abandon the indictment for a sort of reverse jury nullification, where they will, instead of trying to prove any law was broken, they will seek to paint a picture of some sort of danger. Anyone familiar with these situations at the mines in Oregon and Montana know there was no laws broken. These were situations where the bureaucracies of the BLM and Forest Service blatantly overstepped their authority and publicly seek to usurp standing law. Both of these miners had court dates set where their issues would be litigated. Both situations, the bureaucracies set out to take action against the miners before their court dates. In both instances, the Oath Keepers asked us to come and help bring attention to the situation via social media, mass media, community organizing, protests and rallies, etc., stuff like that. We also helped vetting out people who volunteered for private security. These volunteers watched over private property until the prospective court dates. The private security was always given an objective to document first and to stand aside should law enforcement show up with a warrant or court order. I found the best way to draw attention to these situations was to go to these places and jump up and down and say, hey, look over here, look over here. To basically get the attention of the mainstream media and other outside entities. What does this mean for round 2 of my trial? Most likely a few inflammatory Facebook posts and another picture or 2 of people exercising the Second Amendment. And a pushed narrative that Eric Parker spends his free time traveling around the country matching force with the federal government. In closing, let's not forget the charges. Conspiracy to impede federal law enforcement from executing a court order to impound cattle from the Gold Butte allotment. assault on a Fed, threatening a Fed, obstruction of the due justice, extortion, and interstate travel in the aid of extortion, none of which have anything to do with a mine in Oregon or a mine in Montana. So as the government failed to prove their allegations against me, they will now attempt to broaden the scope, bring in a bunch of outside actions, all of which were completely legal and protected by our Constitution, in order to convolute the facts, confuse the next 12 jurors. I'd like to leave you with the definition. Vindictive prosecution. A prosecution in which a person is singled out because a person has exercised a constitutionally protected right. So round 2 starts end of June. See you at the circus. Please continue to pray and write us. It brings us great comfort. We're being helped financially by an organization called Idaho Political Prisoners. All donations are publicly documented above board. My wife will be attempting to travel to Nevada to document the trial again with live streams. So if you like having her updates every day, go over to her Facebook page and help her out. Her name's Andrea Parker. As far as donations to the Idaho political prisoners, they're helping me with phone calls, which is what I need the most right now. I have to be calling these possible witnesses and reforming my game plan to involve these other situations. So if you can help with that, it would be greatly appreciated.